Hello, this is Dan Land Pro with another 100 episodes in 100 days. Welcome. Don't forget, youtube.com, Dan Land Pro, Webmaster Dan. Subscribe to one of my channels. Make sure you hit the like button. Look at today, what I'm talking about is technology. And technology is oftentimes associated with change. And a lot of people, if you don't remember, are threatened by change. So I like to equate it with the spiritual community. When God says, I am. He don't say I was or I'm going to be. It is I am. And that's basically what technology is all about. It's what's happening right now. And it moves so fast. If you don't move with it, if you don't change with it, if you don't evolve and embrace it, it's like a race. You got winners, you got losers. You can get left behind. Now, think about it. There was a time when you had business cards, and then you had websites, then you had email blasts, and then you had DVD rentals, VHS rentals, and then you had on demand or video on demand, and then you had streaming. Now you got live streaming. Another thing about technology is if you think about the time when we were staying at home for almost a year, if not close to 2 years, we all use technology as far as Zoom and some of the other platforms for live streaming to communicate with each other. It was online or remote learning. People was working remote, and some of us still are. So it's not like after the situation or after the circumstances, technology took a back seat any more than after the change from websites and other things like that, technology took a back seat. We embraced those changes, we made those changes part of our life, then we move on. The reason I say that is because sometimes you have to accept change because it moves so rapid. The website was actually designed for the scientific community to be able to communicate with each other. But you see what we did with it through innovation and creativity and originality and ideologies. We came up with new ideas and new ways to use those tools. And it's the same thing now. We must use technology to our benefit or to our advantage opposed to being threatened by it or feeling that it's some demonic force that's going to take over and run our lives. I mean, when you hear people talk about AI, which is artificial intelligence, and it has become very smart, you think that artificial intelligence is some kind of monster that's going to come into our house and put us in a demon world and et cetera, a total world of catastrophe. I call that toxic talk. I call that negative talk because each thing or each creation or discovery was approached sometimes with a threatening or pessimism as far as what was going to happen. Like they say, there was a time when they thought TV was going to burn our brains out and we wasn't going to never be able to think again. The point I'm making is that innovation, technology, creativity, smartphones, all the things that we see, social media platforms, these things are all part of our lives now. Now, if you notice, and this is something that I learned in the last month, there was a time when we choose content. Now content choose us. And that's because we have the creativity or the originality of what they call algorithms. Facebook use algorithms, YouTube, Netflix, a lot of your applications use algorithms, and these algorithms are intelligent enough to know what you like to watch. These algorithms are intelligent enough to know what you like when you go shopping. It's artificial intelligence that can pretty much create a profile on you and know everything that you're doing. My concept of the whole thing is, if that is true, then why don't we use these things in other genres or in the area of interest that we may have? Now, I'm sensitive about the spiritual community as well as the dance community. So my curiosity is why we're not using these things to our benefit. So if we're left in the dark ages and the whole world has speeded up and we're left in the dark ages, how can we be threatened by change? Except like in the dark ages when you had a select few group of people trying to hold you into that particular realm, trying to hold you into the dark ages or the stone ages when the rest of the world had advanced. I mean, think about it. There was a time when people walked everywhere they went. Then they rode horses, and then they took the stagecoach, and then they had wagons, and then they had the railroad, and then the railroad had trains, and now we have automobiles, trains, so many different ways of transportation that it's not even funny. So imagine the people that felt that the stagecoach was threatened by the railroads, and the railroads was threatened by the airplanes. And we have those arguments, and we have those conflicts, and we have that controversy until we settle it out. So the point I'm making is that technology is often associated with change, and we must accept change just as we accept technology. I mean, we don't have the same physical build that we had when we was 10, when we was 20 or 30. And as we advance and evolve through life, our body change. Now, some of us don't want to accept that. And we go out our way to try to have a 10-year-old body and a 20-year-old body, or a 30-year-old body and a 60-year-old body, etc., etc. There's nothing wrong with looking good, but some things that, such as aging, like my hair falling out or turning gray, I can put dye on it and really do the things that I can do to look younger, but I'm never gonna look 30 again in a 66-year-old body. That's just reality. And it's the same with the concept of technology. As the world turns, as the world changes, as we embrace change, things have to be accepted and embraced for the benefit of us all. We are humanity, and technology is now a part of humanity. So all I'm saying is this: for those of you in areas or genres where I find my interest or I find my passion, I'm going to always take that and combine it with technology in some way. And until there are some new innovations or some new means or methods by which we can use these tools to communicate with each other, then I'll be stuck with technology. So for those of you, again, as they say in the spiritual community, it's not I was or I'm going to be, it's I am. Hey, I'm Dan Land Pro. Make sure you go over to my channels, youtube.com, Dan Land Pro, or Webmaster Dan, and subscribe. Until my next video, peace.